Thanks.
And everybody needs a motocross track or skate park in their backyard.
If you can do it, you might as well. What the hell?
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming in the back.
I'm ready.
Okay. Mike!
Look at that.
Hey, we were just talking about you. So everybody,
Good. Hi, how are you,
Mike
sir?
Lovell.
Good, I'm Mike.
Dennis Collins.
Dennis, nice to meet you.
Thanks for letting us
I'm
in.
Kelsey, I'm his daughter.
Kelsey, nice to meet
Hi,
you. I'm
nice
Mike.
to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Dave, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Alex, nice to meet you. How you guys doing?
Awesome. We just look at your
we only made
Multimatic
it to here.
and your Chevelle. That's about it.
Multimatic's back.
It really is.
Yeah, we only made it to the 55.
Ah, nice work.
So we went through the Chevelle. I was telling him the story about you taking it to the racetrack and launching it down the back street.
Yeah.
So is that a full Merlin motor or just the intake?
No, it's just the intake. It
Okay.
started out as a Bill Mitchell 540 cubic inch motor, and
Okay.
then there's a engine builder in Ohio we work with, Dean Gellner.
Okay.
So he does Gellner Engineering. They do a bunch of stuff. So he built that motor most recent.
That's killer. That's
Yeah,
a neat car.
it's a fun car. It's running about 675 naturally aspirated, and then there's a 275 or 250 shot of nitrous on it. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Enough to
925 ought to be
Yeah,
enough.
it's not
Enough
bad.
to do a 9-second
Get your
quarter. Huh?
attention.
Yeah. I
What's your favorite car in here?
Everybody asks me that all the time.
Favorite car to drive versus favorite car to look at?
That's a really, like I like looking at that one the most.
Yeah, that's gonna be my,
That one.
yeah.
That one.
That one earned the turntable.
Yeah, I mean that one like staring at the most. It's a all original 65 289 Cobra. It's got 26,000 original miles. Actually, Jeff just went through the whole thing. It was pretty cool. I have a 14-year-old daughter who we had her pull the motor, and it was cool. So we didn't turn a single wrench. Jeff just kind of guided her, and she had to pull the whole interior and yanked the motor and tore it down all the way to the block. So
Yep.
not every day a 14-year-old girl gets to tear down a Cobra motor. So that was pretty cool.
No, that's an awesome car. Tough to find.
That's a cool car, but to drive, it's this one. You know, it's just a small block, 67, 327 horse, 327, 350 horse.
So we did an hour-long symposium today on classic cars and upcoming cars and future collectibles, but I hit on that. I actually said to drive a 67 Corvette was my specific thing I said is one of the best driving cars.
I agree. And I picked up a 66 big block and sold it because I like the small block, the way it drives so much better.
They do handle better.
And this car I've had forever. I bought it in pieces in '93. And so when my wife and I were building our first business and we didn't have a ton of cash, like wherever we lived, if we had a small garage, this car would stay with us and we'd park outside. And so we've spent so much time in this car, and it's just so well balanced. Like this is a car you can like be turning through an intersection, sliding sideways comfortably, and everybody's freaking out around you, but you're in total control. Like it's just so well balanced.
They're great. So there's twice today we talked about 67 bed up in the
they're
drive.
badass.
And I love the side exhaust because it actually sounds mean, but it's really not that mean.
It's a mild car, but it sounds awesome.
That's
I love
cool.
that car. It's not a show queen by any means. We've driven the shit out of it, but it's
supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
190 SL. Alex and I. Was it yesterday? No, we flew yesterday.
2 days ago.
2 days ago, right before we left here, told Kelsey, told my wife, I'm only concentrating on getting out of town.
Yeah.
Get a call, the guy's got, look, my storage is up on this car, it needs to move out.
Yeah.
Monday is the only day I can do it, which we were crazy busy.
Oh, yeah.
There's a 190 SL that had been in there since 1982.
Oh shit.
One family.
Wow.
So we just picked that up, which
No
is cool.
kidding. What color combo is it?
White with gray.
Okay.
Not exciting.
Yeah, well, this car was originally white. My dad bought that car in the early 70s, and it wasn't extremely nice. It was white with a tan interior. And so this was in the garage when I was a kid. I actually learned to drive stick in this car, which is a shitty car to learn to drive stick in. It's like 95
I don't think it's worse than
It's crazy underpowered, but they're a beautiful car.
They're amazing. So my dad has been a 190 judge for years.
Really?
And yeah, so we've restored a ton of them through the years, and about 10 years ago, 15 now, as he was getting older, he said, I want to see what I can do if I do one car completely myself, top to bottom. So he finished this car and took it to Punta Gorda, Florida for the International 190 meet in, I think, 13. And it scored 499.7 out of 500 points. They got him on a ground wire. So this car, I mean, is really, really done
That's
well.
awesome. Radio, clock, and these are quite rare on the one.
Yeah, they are.
I probably shouldn't even touch them.
No, you're fine. Yeah, my dad's obnoxious to go to like Barrett Jackson because he'll walk through and just point out everything wrong with every 190 he sees.
So is mine.
Yeah, same shit.
Well, to me, if you're going to color change something,
Yeah,
you gotta go black.
that's exactly it. This color combo is, I mean, it's just,
It's killer. I think the 190 looks best in black or silver with red.
I agree.
That's
It's
stunning.
very pebbly.
Thank you very much. Got a bunch of eclectic stuff in here.
Killer sport bikes.
Yeah, so these are, in '86, they made, hundreds of thousands of these, but they only made 500 for the world of the limited edition. And most of them, they split up and they sent, I think, like 200 to the US, 200 to Europe, and they kept 100 in Japan. That was painted to celebrate the Yoshimura Championship in '86. So this was always my dream to find one, but most were sent to race teams and burnt up. I found this in a guy's living room in Cincinnati, Ohio. He bought it in '91. It had sat in a bankrupt dealership and for 5 years. He bought it new, removed the lower fairing grips and tires, rode it a couple thousand miles, and then put everything back together and put it in his living room floor. So I mean, these are original tires.
I rode sport bikes for many years. I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. I got a new Fireblade in.
Yeah.
I rode it 2 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm too old.
It's too much. I
did. I put it up, didn't I? I immediately put it up. I was like, this is crazy.
I got a text from my mom that was like, you promised me you'd never let him get on a bike. And like, he didn't even make it to their house is 2.4 miles
Smart.
from our office. He didn't even make it to the house and back. I'm like, Mom,
Yeah,
don't worry, he's already back.
no,
It's fine.
It is absurd. I recently drained both of these bikes. I pride myself on using everything I have. I'm not touching these things. It's absurd.
Well, we just
Even
talked
as old as
earlier.
they
We just talked earlier right before you walked in, and what's neat about collecting motorcycles is, one, they don't have to run in
That's
the
right.
ride. Two, they're works of art,
That's exactly right.
and they don't take up as much room.
They're not, even the most expensive ones are cheap as hell relative to cars. You can, like you said, I mean, you can pack a ton of them in. They don't take much
You can
room.
stick them in the rafters.
Yeah, and they're just
Yeah.
awesome.
Actually, the first thing I noticed when I walked in,
The first thing I
these
saw.
lights, and the second thing I noticed were your 50s
So that's
up
the
there.
last thing almost anybody notices. So
No, that was the
Oh,
second
we
thing.
got
That's
those
awesome.
bar attention.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's
And the
fun.
big ass fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we've been hanging stuff on the walls, like really special bikes go up on the wall. That's a 1970 Harley XR 750. They only made like 200. They were cast iron heads. They weren't the best to ride because the heads would crack, but in '71 they went to aluminum heads. They ride better, but that's the holy grail. That's
Yeah,
where
those are the flat track bikes.
that is the most winningest bike in AMA motorcycle history. The XR 750 has won more titles than any bike in history.
Danny Cannonberg.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yep. Yes,
I've got his, out of his collection, I got his CBX.
Okay.
Has 0.8 of a mile.
Jesus Christ.
So it's brand new.
That's
It
crazy.
was never even dealer
Yeah.
prepped. So I got that. I got his Yamaha Vance and Hines bike.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm real familiar with that bike. That's a
Yeah,
killer
they're
bike.
amazing. I was so stoked when I found that thing.
Very, very. I think what's neat, and I didn't realize this coming in, and Jess was telling about your stuff, is a lot of this stuff has to do with you or your family. That's
Yeah,
really,
like-
really cool.
That's how our stuff is, but that's
Yeah.
that's very atypical of walking into a car.
Oh, that's what I
You
was
usually
like.
walk
very-
in and it's like the greatest Ferrari collection or Zagato
Which is
body.
cool,
Yeah, it's all right. I don't
But
mind
the
it,
story stops at the
Yeah.
car.
This isn't about like proving to people how much I can have or accumulate. This
No,
is the shit I have loved my whole life. And there are people that walk in here who are like, oh, this guy can buy a bunch of stuff. But if we start talking about it, every single thing in here has deep meaning to me, to my childhood, or something I wanted.
Or
when I
your
was a kid.
daughter.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and my daughter's got cars in here. That Grand National, I bought it 15 years ago with 12,000 original miles. I traded it for that Chevelle. She was 8 years old and she started crying because it was her favorite car. So I bought it back, and now if you notice, there's red velvet stanchions in front of her. She asked for those for Christmas when she was 9. I swear to God.
To keep people away from it.
Yeah, so nobody touch her car.
It's all right. They tried to give me like Barbie birthday parties, but I was like the Hot
Yeah,
Wheels
nice
kid.
car.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, no.
So is this the ones they race in downtown Scottsdale?
Yeah.
So we did that one year.
Did you?
That was a hoot.
That was a blast. So that car right there, that silver car, I had the pole the first year in that car.
Okay.
And that was I don't know which year you came, but it was.
No, we ran the first year.
Okay.
So
So
I was
you
there
remember
with
it was
you.
totally out of control.
Totally out of
Nobody knew what the hell was going on. Guys are
People
right
running over
flipping
each
those
other,
things.
running over wheels, taking each other out. Oh, it's
Yeah.
great.
In fact,
I watched that, and my mom's like, "Is everything going good?" I'm like, "It's great."
everybody's on top of each other.
It was fun though.
It was a blast. Those things are fun. They're trying to put it together again, like out in Mesa or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
A couple more
Got a
insurance
little out of
policies.
control. It was fun.
Jesus.
Well, tell me about the Packard.
So the Packard, what's funny is I was never into pre-war cars, right? Like a lot of guys our generation. And when I was fortunate enough to sell some of my business some years back, and I decided I'd finally buy a car that was already restored, that had been like a dream, the Cobra.
Sure, Cobra.
Found the Cobra, it was at RM Sotheby's, and we were checking it out, and I put a limit on what I bid, and I didn't think I'd get it. And as I was wandering around, I just kept coming back to this car. Like, this car is, to me, just
Stunning.
bitchin'. I mean, it's just so cool. And I was standing next to a kid who was way younger than me, who started telling me about it. And I was like, well, I'm a little intimidated by these. Oh, no, He started walking me through it and showing me everything. And it turns out he had 40 of them in a warehouse in Chicago.
Wow.
And he knew the history of this car. And so I figured if I didn't get this would be my consolation prize.
And you got them both.
Yeah, so kind of worked out that way.
Stunning. The grill's insanely
This
cool.
car, so this was a 1 year only. In 1932, during the Great Depression, Packard was known as being a high-end car, right? It was like the best.
Sure, you had the 3 Ps.
There you go.
You had Packard, Pierce, and Pierce Henry.
That's exactly right.
So they were the best.
That's right. And so they didn't want to be known as flashy. They decided to make an economy car. And this was their attempt at an economy car, an 8-cylinder. And what's so amazing is it failed because it was still too nice. So it was a 1 year only car. But until recently, this car was really looked down upon by the older Packard guys. Like this actual car sat on the lawn of Pebble Beach, and I think
It's because it's an 8-cylinder car,
that's
which
exactly
is
right.
insane. and
That's right.
why.
They had to die off before.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, walking up to this is almost like a ballistically over-the-top cool 32.
Oh
Ford.
my God,
Yeah, I hate to say that
I know.
because it's at a different range, but it almost looks like it's not a factory car because the top looks like it's chopped.
It does.
And you almost think
That's
there's
what
no
got
way
me.
they would have done that grill for the factory, but they did.
Shovel grill.
It's awesome.
And that's what got me when I saw this car. I thought it was custom because it looked so chopped. And what's crazy is, for as classy and bitchin' as this car looks right now, when you drop the top, it becomes like a 32 Highboy. Like it's a whole different car.
Well, what people have realized, and I think, as you said, it's relatively recently, to own a 12-cylinder Packard, you got to have a guy like that
That's exactly
full time.
right. Now we
this
can
car,
start
you
to
come
lay
out and start it up and take it for a drive.
That's exactly right. We drive the shit out of this car. It's got the rumble seat. I throw my kids in back. This car, I would tell you, the suspension is better than any other car in this garage. You hit a speed bump and you don't even feel it.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
probably
it's-
way.
You know
So
what
always
the
remember
coolest
that
thing
3
is?
Ps. That's the
The
way to
coolest
go.
thing, Dennis, is I can come to this car anytime,
And it starts.
and that car starts.
That's Goldie.
Every
Fires
time
right.
like nothing.
And if it was a 12-cylinder, you'd be crossing both fingers.
Exactly.
That's right.
And they're hard to, even the 12s, once you get them running right, they're hard to keep.
But it
Yeah.
is great where I can walk right over to that car, turn the battery on, get in, boom, fires right up, let it sit there, purrs, warms up, does its thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
it's pretty cool.
I mean, some of the other ones, you
Takes a
Come
minute.
on.
Yeah.
Stage
that one is the one.
Our car, like Kelsey said, in our collection, that will always start running is Goldie or Austin Healy.
The only car.
really?
We'll
Yeah.
have a brand new Jeep sitting out there at halftime. It won't start. But we'll walk up to Goldie. I mean, and
Turn the
she is
key on,
just
push the button, boom.
flawless
Right.
every time.
Right.
That's so cool.
This is beautiful.
Thanks. I really love that car. And this was restored by Fran Roxas back in the 80s, if you can believe that.
Oh, I've seen cars that he's restored, since the 80s.
Right.
It still look perfect.
50 years. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts.
Trust me, I guarantee Jeff doesn't want to do that.
No,
That's a ballistic
no.
amount of work.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It really is.
Just the upkeep and the things on it are enough to, keep it. I come over and I kind of like, oh, okay, I'm ready to get into it, and then I'll get in, we'll do it, and I'm like, all right, I'm good for a while.
You find something to distract him.
No,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, can I work on the Camaro now?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about the 2 Camaros. Can we talk about those 2?
Oh yeah, Mike.
Yeah, it's actually the first one, the green turquoise. That was my first car. I bought that in the early '80s before I had a driver's license.
Really?
It was a piece
See,
of.
that's cool. So, I mean, this is all your family stuff.
I still have the Trading Times ad where this thing was listed for $2,100, and the rear quarters it was white with a black hockey stripe that wasn't right. The rear quarters were rusted and flap, and it was a piece of shit. We had a blast in it in high school. And then what's crazy about it is when I went off to college, I needed cash, so I sold it.
Oh.
And I should have known because my dad would always complain to me about how he had sold his first car. Well, a couple years later, he was asking me like, don't you wish you hadn't sold it? And I was like, yeah, I wish I wouldn't have sold it. And he gave it to me restored. He had restored it during that time. He had a buddy buy it. And
How cool was that?
bullshitted me and kept it. And so, yeah, I'm stoked that I still have that.
What a cool dad.
Yeah, he's
Very cool.
yeah.
So 396?
Yeah, 396. So this car was an interesting story. This was the only car I've ever bought at a particular unnamed auction that was a lot younger, broke, just got a home equity line of credit, and drank a lot of whiskey. Perfect combination. So we were sitting on a Friday night, been drinking all day, and this thing rolled across, and it looked beautiful. And they said, numbers matching, everything perfect, and bid on it. And next morning discovered it was a Suburban block, and it was this and it was that, so tore it all the way down. So it's not numbers matching. That Chevelle, actually, the drag car, when we built that car in the early 90s, it was an original SS396. And we still had that motor sitting on a stand, so date code correct, we put it in here, built it, and then have redone it several times. So this now, it's about 550 horse. It's got a Super T10 in it out of a late 70s Firebird, hydraulic clutch. This car really, really gets it. It's pretty fun to drive. This is probably the most difficult car in the garage to drive.
No power steering?
Yeah, and it's like that hydraulic clutch is so heavy and it revs super fast. And so this is the car when my buddies want to drive some, I put them in just to fuck with them. Watch them stall it 8 or 10 times, then make them get out.
That's awesome. Well, can we go upstairs and see the view?
Yeah, happy to.
Jeff said it was amazing.
Yeah, so what's interesting is this was originally going to be built as just a shop to work on cars, and the city approved what I never expected that they would.
Okay.
And so then we're putting up the other one as a dirty shop, but the reason they approved it, you can check it out later, but there's a bedroom and a kitchen, and so this is actually a house that just happens to have a large garage attached.
I like that.
He's trying to talk me into investing into some real estate deals. The living quarters are like 600 square feet. The house is about, and the garage is about 1,200.
That's exactly what this is. It's perfect.
Yeah.
This has always been one of my favorite Harleys, even though it was love it.
XL CR1000, yeah, I mean, that is just an awesome bike.
Just cool.
I just saw one of these go and bring a trailer last week. I was surprised.
I mean, to me, it's a work of art. I love it.
Me too. It's amazing.
Very, very cool.
It's a pig. It's so heavy, but it's just such a cool look.
It is cool.
I mean,
it is slow.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% original, and that's, but they're junk. This thing, 1920 Indian, 102 years old.
That's really cool.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
So to me, again, not to beat a dead horse, I don't want to upset anybody in the art world. That's art.
That is absolutely art.
Yeah, at this point.
Absolutely art.
Incredible.
That's just some of the prettiest art I've ever seen. That bike, I love it. Fell in love the minute I saw it.
Well, that's a great view, but listen, we got there.
Yeah. So we've been fortunate to put together quite a bit of land in this area, and it all, one after another, houses became available. So now we just wrap all the way around the golf course. So we've got a bunch of vacant land up that way, and then we took down a house up there.
No, I can look at it.
You can see this. We took down a house up there. If that's too loud, let me know. I can shut it. And built a motocross track. My daughters are up there riding right now.
I thought I saw them on bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So you've got your own skate park and your own motocross track.
Yeah. So
And we understand that your daughter's kind of a rock star in the skate world.
Yeah. What's pretty crazy is I adopted a little girl when she was 6 months old from China. Fly halfway around the world, somebody hands me a random baby, and she turns out to be the coolest human. It's true though. I mean, it's kind of the way it went down. Wow. Turns out to be the coolest human being. Like she's a pro skateboarder.
Because we're gonna shut this. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, sorry. She's a pro skateboarder. She now races every Monday. We pull her out of school early, and Jeff and I take her down to the track. And she has a private instructor, and she does road course racing, and she rides motocross. It's mind blowing. Like,
wow.
Good thing I adopted. I upped my gene pool dramatically.
That is really cool.
Isn't that fun?
Unbelievable.
So now, like that's actually my younger daughter with two of her girlfriends that are over. So all their buddies are figuring out the tracks here now, and they're like, I got some of their friends.
Why would you go hang out anywhere else?
Well, that's the thing. Like they don't even. Some of their friends come over, and my kids are sitting in my kids in the house, and their friends are out there riding the motocross track.
That's
because
awesome.
to your kids, it's every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of fun. Yeah, so we've been fortunate to put together this piece of land here. It's been good.
Beautiful, incredible.
Thanks.
Great collection.
Thank you. Eclectic, blue collar, but it's what
Well, I mean, again, and that's what a lot of people are now kind of chasing, and you were fortunate that you found them and be able to keep them. They're chasing stuff that they either wish they had in their youth, or they had in their youth and they want it back.
No, I was about to say, everyone's trying to find that car that they had
That's
before,
exactly
or
what it
duplicate
was.
something they had before and sold it, and they wish they wouldn't have.
We just had, I picked up a GT bicycle years ago, and it's been sitting in the corner forever, and I asked Jeff just last week, I said, hey, get rid of this, it's just been sitting around. Jeff found some guy in a forum who had the identical bike when he was a kid 30 years ago. Jeff shipped it to him, and the guy called him literally in tears the day he got it because it was his birthday, and the bike that he's been searching for 25 years, like he was able to find. So to your point, it's...
We actually looked at a bike collection recently, and my favorite bike of all time back in the 70s was a Webco, because it was one of the very first bikes that had a composite wheel, kind of like the Tough Wheel.
Yeah.
But I have not even seen one.
No, it's so hard to find.
In forever. But that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I get it, nostalgia-wise,
cool
having or you remember the original monoshock bikes?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, those are cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen one of those in a long time
There's
either.
so much cool stuff from the past, and it's neat to see it all coming back around now.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that you're a caretaker of this stuff. It's awesome.
Thanks. It's a pain in the ass. It's gotten to a spot.
I can't even imagine.
I'm so glad to have Jeff here now, dude.
Sure.
I was begging Jeff for the longest time.
He's great.
He's such a good dude.
He really is.
He's just awesome to have around. He's a good buddy, and he's so talented.
Well, if you don't have somebody taking care of this stuff, you can't use it.
That's the thing. It's, I enjoy working on cars, but it got to a point where I couldn't enjoy the cars because the list just got so long it became a nuisance. So now it's really nice having him around.
Well, if it wasn't for Alex, I wouldn't be able to drive any of our stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to keep them running and driving.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we're busy, but he takes out some time, a little bit of time every couple of weeks, and make sure that our stuff will go.
Yeah. Where's your collection? Where are you on it?
Dallas.
Okay.
Wylie, Texas.
Nice.
Northeast of Dallas.
Nice. That's where you grew up?
Yep, born and raised.
Wylie.
Yeah. Wylie went to school in Dallas, and now I actually bought a house in the neighborhood he grew up in that he used to throw the paper out at.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
So
that's
I've
so
stayed
cool.
right
That's awesome.
there. Yeah.
Well, can we walk outside and see the skate park?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have time?
Plenty.
Okay.
Yep, we're good. In 2004, no one had ever won freestyle motocross gold except Travis Pastrana. And on this bike, Nate won freestyle gold. He beat him. And then
Wow.
this is an 04, and then that's an 09. And on the 09, that bike he backflipped in front of the Great Pyramids of Egypt for the Red Bull X Fighter series. So these are pretty amazing bikes. I'm gonna hang these bikes over in the corner in kind of descending, where you'll see one coming up and then the other one backwards with a little video of him doing that. So
Very cool.
yeah, what's amazing is that all the backflips and stuff he did, and if you move these two bikes, this was steel frame, this was aluminum frame. They're it's
Really?
big,
I can
dude.
barely get
It's
that
absurd.
fucking bike on that stand by myself.
And he's backflipping these things 40, 50, 60 feet in the air.
Those guys are all little bitty, and they just.
Yeah.
No, they're talented. They got the feel for it.
She's right though, they are small. Jared
They're so
McNeil,
small.
who's
They're all small.
Jared
Travis
McNeil's
is
who's a
not,
top
but
guy
he's
now,
still
is
gangly.
yeah, he's
So that's how I broke my
broken.
shoulder.
pilot.
Really.
We were having a contest on how far you could jump them, so it was a very tall. I mean, we were jumping crazy far, way up in the air, and a big wind came and blew it, and it just
like a
landed on the
sail out
side.
there. Oh.
So
That's
yeah, that
hard.
wasn't good.
That's hard.
Okay, so you guys thought this garage was cool. Wait till you see this backyard, which I haven't seen it. I've just heard about it. So, real quick again, tell us the story Jeff has told us about your amazing daughter.
So my daughter, we adopted her from China when she was 6 months old, and when she was 5 or 6, we were in Hermosa Beach, and I put her on a skateboard and gave her a push down the pier, and I think she just took to like people's reaction. She was like this tall, rolling on a skateboard, and so she started skating, and she just had this natural like physical genius, and so she's just taken off, and through the years she's won like all the gold medals in the California State Games and all the comps around, and so she's she's sponsored by Vans. The founder of Vans came out to our house to ask her to ride them. Like really cool.
That's incredible.
So we started building this skate park, and it's just kind of taken on a life of its own.
Well, you want to keep them at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything that we did at my house was always with the premise of how can we keep the kids around the house.
That's exactly right.
So whenever we added on, it was always something else for them to do.
That's exactly what.
And
we
then
did.
the running joke in my neighborhood was if your kid was missing, they were at the Collins house.
There you go. That's exactly right. And that's the way to do it. Like we were fortunate because that was our primary property, and then as all these houses around us became available, we'd pick them up and just find something fun to put in. And so, like, actually, if you look over here, check this out. This is kind of fun. Tonight we have what we call our old man skate session.
Oh.
So
I heard, I'm just thinking about that.
So once a month we get 30 or 40 guys. I mean, most of them in their 50s, still ripping. And so we have a pro style skateboard we put in here. Wow. It's 10.5 foot deep on the deep end, and we'll have a big session tonight.
No way. I have a really good friend of mine who's 57 who still skates. His name's Stuart Singer.
Yeah.
He is amazing. Jesus. So eat your heart out of this place, Stuart. You would love this.
Yeah, so it started out as like a little tranny section over there, and then we added the bowl, and then we added this street section probably 2 years ago. And so it's kind of like an Olympic training facility for her. It's just been a ton of fun. The golfers love it.
You know, I bet they do, actually.
They do.
They just kind of freak out.
There used to be bushes there, and the Phoenician took them down, and when I asked them about putting them back up, they said, well, if you don't mind, people come golf here just to see what you have going on. We'd like to leave them down. So I was like, I don't know.
Very cool.
That's fine. Somebody just tried putting a...
Never up, never in!
How are you guys? Good, real good. So
amazing.
We took down this house last year, 2 years ago. We were trying to figure out what the hell to do. We thought about a lazy river, and then...
oh, man.
At least the water turned to dirt.
I gotta work harder.
Yeah.
A lazy river.
And then somehow, once we started moving dirt and the dirt bikes came out, it just kind of morphed into this.
That'd be a fun track to race a little 50s on.
This is a blast of a track for that. So what we did, there's a guy named Destry Abbott who holds a ton of desert championship titles. Just an old school racer who's amazing. And instead of doing the stupid I would have done, just a loop with big jumps, he came in and designed this course. It's got 23 bermed corners. It's got a step up. There's a sand pit over there with a couple tons of sand in it. So it's challenging without letting anybody grab fifth gear and hit a wall. Right. You know what I mean?
That is amazing. Yeah. Where's the Phoenician actual?
That's the Phoenician right over there. You see that house roof? It's on that property is just on the other side. It's been a golf course wraps around. And they've been super cool. I mean, we belong to the Phoenician. We go over there. I'm like, yeah, so with the dirt bike. So her girlfriends are riding her. My daughter's riding. They're a lot of her friends who have never been exposed to dirt bikes or quads or any of that stuff. They get
so we had all that at my house too, and I let them run them. It was a lot of fun.
They have so much fun.
Yeah, kids need to be doing this instead of inside on the video games.
Oh my God! Yeah, there's no video games on our property.
Well, you got the ultimate view too. Look at that.
Doesn't suck.
That's incredible.
We put in a wall of ficus to block the dust from the golfers, but got to protect them in the cold.
Sure. Well, Mike, we're going to wrap it here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir. Good
Incredible
to meet you.
collection, which is, again, it's great that a lot of that stuff is family memories for you. Yeah. I think it's awesome what you're doing for not only your daughter, but the kids of the area. This is fantastic.
Thanks.
And everybody needs a motocross track or a skate park in their backyard.
If you can do it, you might as well. What the hell?
We'll see you next time.
Okay, so today was crazy. I think I've lost all the guys. If my dad forgot to do his like, tag, share, follow. But thank you guys for everyone for watching this video with this crazy collection. We've been friends and I've known Jeff Catlin for a really long time, and it's really awesome that he brought us out here to see all this. Between the motocross track and the skate park and the amazing car and bike collections. This was really cool. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, tag, share, follow, and see you guys for the next coffee walk.
And you guys thought we forgot the food segment. We didn't, did we?
Never.
We were so busy in Scottsdale, we had to get out of town, we had a flight to catch, but for me, Kelsey, and the mom too, when we're out of town, it's kind of how we get back in, and Connor, we're usually craving our hometown food.
We are.
So what are we doing before we get home to the mom and Connor?
We're going to get the world famous Italchos at Terillis here on Lower Greenville in Dallas.
This is amazing, crunch-alicious stuff. Let's go. Well, Zach, you got to look at your menu. So the first thing when you get here at Terillis and you open the menu, the first thing is the Italchos, right?
Alright, so I know you want to order 3.
We'll just all pick our own.
Alright,
Okay.
Dad, you go first.
You want me to go first?
I do, because I don't want to repeat what you ordered.
All right, sir.
He's very excited.
I'm gonna do chicken, Italian sausage, pepperoni, and then for the vegetables, I'd like to have jalapeno, pepperoncinis, sun-dried tomatoes, roasted red pepper, and then for the cheese,
Don't do all of them.
I'm not gonna do all of them because it already has what cheese is on it already?
It has provolone mozzarella mix already.
I love that. So the cheese is provolone mozzarella mix, which is awesome. I think we'll add a little bit of feta to it.
Cheese?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, and then for the next one, can we do chicken? What was my next one I had on there? Roasted garlic, white truffle oil, and goat cheese.
That was fancy.
All right.
So,
And I will do just chicken and Italian sausage. Keep it simple.
good idea.
It's not a bad way to go.
I actually thought you were just going to get cheese.
Like macaroni and cheese, but an Italian.
Has
nacho.
anybody ever done that?
Yes, we do get
Really?
Oh no, you cannot do that. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
outstanding.
Sounds awesome.
Do you think they have mac and cheese?
Oh yeah.
Here's to a successful long trip.
Long.
So it may all look like fun and games, but we actually worked incredibly hard at Scottsdale. Not particularly me, but these two.
It was a long one. I mean, we brought 24 cars before over there and didn't do that this time, and it was still as crazy. The days, you fill the days with a little bit more stuff than we typically have before.
Thank you to you two.
Thank you for taking us.
Logistically, you guys out there, they really, really worked hard to pull that off. So,
That's what we do.
you know what? I still, like I said earlier, I really wish I knew how they made Italcho, so I've never watched it.
Well, let me go show you.
Outstanding. See, he's not shy. Now you know how it's made. We don't.
Oh, do it again. Sorry.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's great. They did it so fast.
I tell you what, have you ever had anything like that?
No?
And the taste is amazing.
I'm excited.
It's a very craveable food. See why I say crunchylicious?
I do. I can see that now after seeing how they made it. Yeah.
I'm so ready. Thank you, sir.
Need any fresh cracked pepper?
Absolutely. You want salad?
I'm not a rabbit.
Good one, Zach. I don't think I've heard that before. So does that mean rabbits don't eat macaroni and cheese?
I feel like they would.
Here's the Italchos.
Thank you.
Wow.
Just be careful with the pans, they're very hot. I'll enjoy it.
So I can't pick that up with my hands?
Do you need any Parmesan cheese on top?
I would love it on that one. All right, guys. Well, Kelsey knows. She's seen this hundreds of times. A culinary masterpiece.
It is.
Try that. Unbelievable.
It's already the best bite.
Can't wait, Kelsey. You better believe it. So at Italcho, every bite is the best bite. Literally. Look at that masterpiece. Is that good?
I've got one word for it.
What's that?
Outstanding.
For me, it's crunchylicious.
For me, it's crisp.
Crisp.
Favorite.
So these are meant to be an appetizer. I generally eat the whole thing by myself and still eat here.
I didn't eat anything today specifically for this. This is my first meal of the day.
Is it worth it?
It's absolutely worth it.
It's incredible. International destinations, this is one of them. If you're in DFW, you have got to come to Terillis. Not only is it an institution for Dallas, it's an institution for our family.
Truly.
I mean,
Birthdays, graduations, all that for many, many years.
For 32 years, and you will not find anything like this in the world. Come and get it. Look at that bite. All right, best bite right there. Can I do it? Kels?
Yes,
Does that
sir.
embarrass you? Well, I'm going to do it for sure. It does.
It's stressing me out.
Under no circumstance would we show that.
We have to.
Terillis has been our favorite restaurant for years. So like 5 or 6 years ago, there was this crazy fire on Lower Greenville, and a lot of the restaurants burned down. Greenville Bar and Grill, a lot of the famous restaurants that people have been growing up going to Dallas. So in order to rebuild, it's really cool. They offered the ability for families and patrons and stuff to buy a brick to help fund the rebuilding of Terillis, upgrading it, rooftop bar, all that cool stuff. And so they've got a wall in the middle of the restaurant that has all of the custom bricks, and our family has a couple, and just take a look.
You get the door for you, Kels.
So good. We have technically three goodie bags.
Well, we got the mom at home.
We have the moms,
We got the Greek salad.
Greek salad, and of course you got to come home with some Italchos. Throw them in the air fryer. They're fantastic.
So next time we're going to show you more than Italchos. But here's how much we love this restaurant. We are members of Terillis.
Part of me thinks that they made that just for him, but it's pretty cool.
But so that was the most crunchylicious thing ever. And next time we're going to show you the other things on the menu.
Next time this time we just wanted to focus on the Italchos and the atmosphere of Terillis and just how awesome the restaurant is, and Lower Greenville and Dallas, and yeah, thanks for watching. So what are people going to do?
They're going to like, tag, share, and follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going home. We've been in Scottsdale for a week.
We have, so it's nice to be home. See you guys later.